Good evening, everybody. DJ Verm in the house with Akai and Truck Sam, who is on the road at the moment, driving his truck, but he's not looking at the camera, but he will debate with us
That's
on
why he looks
different
like a
topics.
bobblehead
Tonight,
on a dark screen.
so yeah,
Looks like one of those bobbleheads on a dark screen.
Well, roads are not so gentle out here, and I'm
yeah.
getting thrown around.
So,
Yeah. Glad to
ladies and
see our
gents,
taxes are going to smooth roads.
yeah, ladies and gents, this is our English podcast, just pure talk, live,
Just pure talk.
just pure talk. One thing before we kick off, I just want to let everybody know that we are streaming on now 6 different platforms. Don't YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Mixcloud, Kick,
Mean
and
X.
Instagram.
Mean X.
So we are now performing on all our platforms.
Hold on. Time out. You mean X?
No, Kicks. X, you have to pay premium. I'm not paying premium for that shit guy.
Okay,
Oh,
so
did they say that live? Oh, sorry.
we're on
Damn.
Twitch.
So we are on
I thought you meant
Twitch.
Twitter. I made a mistake there. Okay.
Twitch. We've always been on Twitch. Now we're still on Twitch. I'm sorry.
We should
I
check
shouldn't
out
have said
Rumble.
that, but I don't believe in paying premium to stream content. I'm not going to pay to stream my content. So, and we are on our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. Now that my commercial is done, don't forget to go visit Ruthless Rusters. Like you can see, I'm branded all the way to the feet, and they are extraordinary. And you will get a 10% off your bill with this code. It's Verms with an S, Fans with an S, dash RR10. You get a 10% off.
And we'll put that up in later, and at the end of the show we'll have.
Yeah, I
it in
will.
there.
I will. It's just because usually it's in the bar down at the bottom that I put it in my French podcast, but now we're going to put it in the English podcast.
Yeah, we need to put it
Oh,
in the
yeah.
English one for sure.
Yeah, it's
We
just
were looking at sweatshirts today because Kai needs a new sweatshirt.
yeah,
I would like one with a
and they're
zipper.
beautiful. They're hot. They're thick, extraordinary, and look at the caps. How beautiful they are. So usually they are our candidate for Jim Canna show, but I'm bringing him in also in the English podcast since we got the broadcast. And whoever needs some stuff, well, you know where to go. RuthlessWrestlers.com. Okay, so tonight, guys, we worked hard. A lot of topics on the table. We decided to do a brand new way of working with Just Pure Talk and throw out topics on the table and then debate on them. If you guys out there that are listening at the moment want to debate or want to share your opinion so we could debate on it also, just send it through our podcasts, different streaming platforms, and write it down in the chat. Then we'll see everything coming up. So we're going to be able to say. So here we go. We're kicking off. So I have Truck Sam who says, hey, I want to talk about truck diving and getting trained, not enough training. I think he wants to talk about Canada. So the Canadian truckers. So I'm going to let him kick off the subject since he's a trucker. So there we go.
Well, I was watching a show from Marketplace, and they were talking about how Canadian truck drivers now are just getting barely enough training to pass the CDL test, and that was it. And they're supposed to have I think it's 103 or 109 hours of on the road classrooms all together, and they're just getting barely enough information just to pass this test at the DMV. And guess there's a whistleblower from the third party kids gets up there. They did third parties, and they saying that it is happening, that they're letting it go by, and everything else. And being on an open road, it shows, and it's something where it makes you wonder these people you're driving by that are the Canadians, and I don't know if it's happening in the U.S. either. I haven't heard nothing, but it's something where it makes you kind of wonder. Okay, are they actually getting enough training out there?
Me being a Canadian, I know we had the discussion while we were taking decisions on which topics we're talking about. Me being a Canadian, I have a brother-in-law who is a trucker like you, truck Sam, and I know that in the Quebec region, I'm going to talk about the French province. They do have a lot of training and hour slots that you're like talking about, and they do over and above to get the truck drivers to be professional truck drivers. So technically, he says that when he gets his permit, he has to go through a lot of stiffy stuff to make sure that he's allowed to have that permit in Quebec.
Yeah.
Now, what I've overheard, okay, this is me hearing stuff when I was in Kingston in Ontario. That's the English province, one of the English provinces. And I just want you to understand, because it's the situation. Okay, I'm not talking about French and English. It's just so people understand that I'm talking about like Ontario was there where the English community, and then you got Quebec was the French community. But I don't want to start a debate on French and English. It's not what I'm talking about. So in Ontario, I've overheard. Because I had an opportunity to talk with some of the trainees and specialists and government-wise, the ones that sign off on those permits, that not even 3 weeks of training and they could get their permit.
Well, hold on.
So, what?
You're saying 3 weeks? In 3 weeks they can get a permit in Canada, right?
Yeah, I mean the English Canada, if I should say.
Okay.
Is that a car license or is that a CDL?
CDL. But
okay.
What's the American standard, Samurai?
Thank you.
I don't know about that.
I'm going to tell you. There is none.
Okay. What?
There is no minimum hours to get your CDL. There is no minimum training to get your CDL. You just have to go sit for the test, take it, and pass. So if you can get some wheel time behind a buddy's truck and you're good at it, you can do it. And if you go to a school, they can fast track you. And in 10 days, you can have your CDL and be driving on the road with way less hours than our Canadian partners.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought, did you look under the federal motor carriers?
There's no minimum.
Oh, wow.
There is no
There
is no official minimum of number of hours or driving practice required to get your CDL license. However, many companies prefer a minimum of 160 hours of training behind the wheel. Now, it's the private companies that are hiring you. Nothing to stop you from buying your own truck, logging on the Lodestar and grabbing a load once you got your CDL.
Well, because when I went through training 19 years ago, they said there was actually federal standards that you had to have a minimum of, I think it was.
No, but when he's talking about minimum, that means it's minimum. You can have a minimum if it's 10 hours. It's a minimum.
Yeah, true. But the other thing is, it's something where, all the schools that I've looked into were minimum of 2 but the other thing is there's actually more to it than that, because like if you're going through a company, there was usually 2 weeks of classroom, driving on the road.
The only reason they have that, the only reason they have that is for insurance.
Yeah. And 2 weeks with a trainer.
They do 160 to 180 hours. Most of the major companies out there that have their truck driving schools or they're attached to a truck driving school.
Yep.
In the United States, have 160 to 180 hour minimum training time for the sole reason of to cut down the cost of insurance.
What are you looking at, Akai?
What? I'm looking up. My screen's up here. I got to pull it down.
You should be looking at your camera. Look, you look better. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Hello.
I had to move that screen down.
No, it's just because you're always looking up. I go, are you looking for God?
I am always.
No, he has three. Is
I
it
have 3
three
screens.
screens
I
or
know
four screens?
he's okay, but people are telling me I gotta look at the camera, and he's like really looking up.
No, but the
Sorry,
screen with all the
I had
pictures
to
on it was
get that
one
out of the
monitor
way.
up. So yeah, thanks for telling me to pull it down.
I'm-
But
Well,
no, it's, the only reason those standards even exist in the States is because somebody doesn't want to pay as much for insurance for a new driver. So they figured out with the insurance company that, hey, if you give the driver X number of training, that'll reduce accidents and problems. And technically, you don't have to do that.
I think
at least Canada has a standard.
True. I did not know that. I was going off the assumption of when I got.
But there was a report put out by, I dropped the link in there. It was a group in Canada, and I'm drawing a blank here. I put it in there, but it was an organization in Canada that put up a thing on the truck driving hours saying, hey, we need to train our guys better.
Yeah, no, and you're right. You're right on it. I'm gonna put
But
this up here.
When they do that to truck drivers, I'll play devil's advocate here. What about all those four-wheelers out there? What about all those people that drive around in cars and pickup trucks, and less than CDL licensed things? Shouldn't they have to take more training if we're going to give truck drivers more training?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing that I'm curious about is, and I understand that it's all about salaries and insurance and stuff like that, but damn, you got a 53 feet engine in your hands. I mean, a truck, and you're giving it to someone that might not drive it well.
Yeah, it's actually if you're in a regular truck like I am, you're looking at about 75 and a half. How long you are. So,
Yeah, feet?
That's feet. And the trailer's 53 feet long. Now, you can be longer because I've actually hauled 57-foot trailers before.
Okay.
And I've actually seen up on I-90 in New York on the thruway. It blew my mind when I saw this. I actually saw 3 53-foot trailers with a normal semi going down the road. I'm like, what the heck?
That's almost like a semi-train.
It was.
Like they have it out in Australia on the outback.
Yeah.
With those semi-trains that are just trailer after trailer after trailer hooked up to a semi-truck, and they're just bowling down the road.
That's and going through like Utah and Idaho and Nevada, definitely up on 80. You actually see what we call them pups, they're 27-foot trailers, and they're pulling 4 out of whack. I'm like, I'd hate to have that in a high wind situation. Ew.
Yeah, it's like almost 100-foot of truck and trailer right there.
And you got to worry about the crack of the whip. It is. And you got to, when you're pulling them more than one trailer, you have to worry about what they call crack the whip. Because what happens is you move the truck a little bit, the trailer moves a little bit, the second trailer really moves. It's like a whip. You can move that whip just a little bit, and next thing you know, you get that snap. And that's what they call crack the whip. Because that last trailer will probably flip over on you if you put too much of a shake to it.
Wow.
So, that's why I won't get my doubles license. No, thank you.
It's complicated to have it drive because I know. I
think you're going to end up having to get a doubles license. I think it's going to get to that point because there's not enough drivers out there.
Both.
Not enough drivers. That's the reason why. Yeah.
No, that's BS.
You're telling me there's enough drivers out there?
There is enough drivers. Why they say that there's a driver shortage is when they unregulated everything, 'cause what we're making now is actually what they made back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. We haven't had a pay raise. We don't have a minimum pay raise. They can actually take money away. Say, okay, we're in tough times. We're dropping you down 20 cents, and we can't do nothing about it.
That's per mile, though.
Yeah. So it's something where, and there's some times where in certain parts of the country, the freight's so low that it doesn't cover, the maintenance on the truck, cost of the truck, fuel, your time. There is no minimum wage for truckers. And it's something where
That's $13. Excuse me, $13 a mile or $13 an hour.
Good night.
As if we're moving.
Okay.
As if we're moving. And it's something where I'm sorry, but when they deregulated, some of it they needed to be deregulated, but when they deregulated it, these businesses basically can outdo the small businesses. They don't, allow them to grow because these big businesses do it on volume. It's like like some companies, like there's one out there that says, I don't care as long as I make $1 off that truck a day, I can care less. Because they got like 10, 15,000 trucks. So as long as they make $1 off that truck for profit, they don't care. Because they have the volume.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, so, it's like with a training bit, I think there should be a standard of training, on both sides. Definitely when you're coming in, and I've run across a lot of people that can't even speak English.
Okay.
And they have to have a translator, and technically, if you come to this country with a commercial license, you're supposed to be able to speak English by federal DOT. It actually states under the CS 2010 that you must be able to speak and understand English.
Yeah.
So it's like if I come up to your country, I would have to learn and understand French to know where I'm going to.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
if you don't understand the language, how can you
how do you exchange? Yeah, I understand. How do you exchange? How do you talk? How do you explain yourself? I mean, you're both looking at each other and you're both talking in the air.
And also, and how do you get around if you don't know the name of the streets and understand the name of the streets or the speed limit, or hey, there's a warning sign, there's a steep downgrade. It's like there's a lot of things that is wrong, but also there's car drivers too. It's like it seems like every year it gets worse and worse. I don't know if you've noticed it, but it seems like every year, car drivers are getting too aggressive. Like today, I had a guy cut me off like up to yin yang multiple times. On average, in an 11-hour day of driving, I'm usually getting cut off at least 20 to 30 times or more. And it takes a football field for me to stop.
Wow. Oh, it's
Big
crazy.
trucks are dangerous. I heard it on the thing.
Well, I mean,
that lawyer says it all the time. Get hit by a big truck, get paid.
And that's what they expect to do. And if it wasn't for us, well, nations wouldn't survive. They would fail.
Yeah.
Because everything you use comes by us. And ships and trains. And even trains are getting bad too.
You're right. So, I think we went a little bit over. Not over, but we did talk 20 minutes about trucking. No. It's interesting. I really love it. You know, I mean, we could go on for maybe hours on trucking. But
Yeah, true.
I wanted to bring a topic. On another topic that you brought, Truck Sam, is custom tax, 25%. I'm just going to say,
Or
I'm going to
tariffs.
start just by saying one comment. Ridiculous. What do you guys think about it? Customs, well, technically it's not done yet, but the Trump administration, I don't know who shouted it out. I'm trying to remember, but I'm talking about the Trump administration.
Actually, Trump did it himself. He actually,
Yeah.
he actually put it out on his Truth Social where he's saying he's going to put a 20.
Okay, that I was wondering. I was wondering where it came from. So he says that when he gets into to the office, that he will tax. You said Canadians and Mexicans.
In Mexico.
Yep.
And
He's
Mexico
going to put tariffs on everything coming in the United States.
Yeah, so everything coming in the United States. So,
but there's a reason.
I'm going to ask you guys, because you guys are two Americans. So I'm going to ask you guys, what does it stand for? What your vision of being taxed 25%? Well, Canadians and Mexicans being taxed 20. No, Canadian companies and Mexican companies being taxed 25% more.
Well, we'll begin tax yourself.
Go.
Sorry.
Go.
Sorry about that, guy. We're the people that buy this stuff are the ones that pay for it, in the end. But there's a dual message. It's like, okay, you're letting all these fentanyl things in, then also the border, the unsecured border. Huh?
It's not part of it. This is just tariffs. This is just tariffs.
Oh, tariffs. But it's something where it's more about, I think when we did that NAFTA agreement, we screwed ourselves royal. It's part of tariff. That's what they're talking about. NAFTA is actually the Texas and Mexican agreement we had with, and that relates to the tariff.
It's
what?
The reason.
Go ahead, Sam. Say your part, and then I'm going to ask you a question. Okay.
The reason behind the tariffs, which way I understand it is to make it cost more to produce it over there, so that way people will produce it here. That way we could bring those manufacturing jobs back to America.
Why don't just impose it? Why don't the government just says, you have to now, whatever company, I'm gonna pick a company like this, GM. You now have to produce your cars back in the United States. Why imposing as taxes?
Trump did that.
Need to make money has to come back.
Trump got an office. He basically told all the people that were building all the vehicles down in Mexico, hate to be you, because I'm going to tariff the snot out of that stuff coming out of here, and it'd be cheaper to build it in America. And so they stopped building their car plants in Mexico and built them back in the United States.
Yeah. That's the primary thing, because it's something where, the government has, under a free market, they can't say, oh, you got to do this and you got to build it here. And that put a lot of animosity.
Plus it deals with national security. But
you know that building stuff in different countries was created by company owners, was created by all that lobbying stuff, saying that a U.S. citizen that works at $25 an hour, I'm just going to say anything, okay, just so you guys understand, at $25 an hour, building a toy
widget,
toy, okay, but when you do it in China, it costs about not even like $2 an hour,
not even,
or less.
It costs $10 to produce and pay for the parts for an iPhone.
Yep.
That comes from the Foxconn CEO. $10 to produce an iPhone 15.
See?
And
And how much do they charge? How much do they charge him?
A little over $1,000. Heck of a profit margin, isn't it? You think that's bad? Samsung's the same thing, dude. So you got
Any
an Android
smartphone.
phone? They're any of those smartphones, they cost about $10 to manufacture. And they're charging $1,000 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
Well,
so
like you said, it's all about the lobbyists, and it's something where the tariffs. I see where he's going with that, But when when the lobbyists got the government to say, "Oh yeah, you can send all your factories down to Mexico," and when China opened up, they're going to these cheap places where they can get away with more stuff than they can in the U.S. labor-wise, workplace safety, and environmental. And because you go to these, that's why China's like the cesspool of the world.
The cesspool of the world?
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of countries. There are other countries out there that are more cesspools than China.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they have more smog. You don't. You don't want to eat the food.
I think that all depends on where you go.
Yeah, I'd say. But
or it's one of the cesspools. Let's put it that way. One of them.
Yeah.
Well, they got.
I want to bring something else into the same topic. So 25% charge on customs prices. You know that the percentage is going to go into the price.
Exactly.
So it's going to be. So what he's doing, he's going to be doing a wheel. He's going to say, "We're charging you."
He's probably doing it to move American manufacturing from automobiles back out of Canada and Mexico and back in the United States.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure. It's that 25%.
Because that really hurts the automobiles that are coming in from Canada and Mexico. I don't know what else. What else does Canada import to the U.S. on a major scale?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff.
Oil and.
That's one thing they said. They're actually going to put a cap on how much they send in.
Yeah, there was a comment on a Canadian reporter who said, "So, if that's going to happen, how much are we going to tax the electricity that we're selling to the United States? Because we all know Quebec is selling electricity like hell to the United States.
New York? Yeah.
Yeah. So, if we're being taxed one way, then what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be on the other way.
The other way. I totally see that.
So that's going to be a tax war. And the other thing
they'll just raise it up, and people will have to pay it, and they'll be like, "Well, you got a tariff on us, so we're gonna."
So I know, and I'm just because we're debating. The thing is that then the other stuff is we want to. I've been hearing that we want to get American great again, and we want to bring jobs back.
Yes. So start building.
Okay, here's my 2 cents. It's going to be simple. There's no one anymore. There's no one who wants to work. No one. We have to go. What?
What do you mean nobody wants to work anymore? I need more explanation.
Hi. Manpower is down.
Stop giving them government welfare checks and they'll go to work.
No, I'm totally with you on that. I'm just saying that
if you stop giving them food stamps and you stop and look, there are people out there that need food stamps. There are people out there that need welfare. I'm not saying everybody that's on these things is a bum. But if you got to really, these people, these case managers really need to look into these people that they're giving these benefits to and go, no, you're able-bodied. For crying out loud, my crippled ass got a job.
I've
No, I
improved
know.
my situation, and I'm
It was
handicapped.
not easy. It wasn't easy to find a job.
No, but how old are you?
I'm 52.
You don't need to split it out on air, but I
I'm
mean,
52.
you're 52. So
And a cripple.
no,
I
but
got the little blue
we're
license plate tag.
I don't want to go on
know?
to the generation schmutz, okay? But
It
there's a
is
part of
generation.
no, but there's a part of we are all built to work. Our generation,
Yes.
our parents were built to work hard.
And I get
We
that, but you know what?
maybe we got the youngsters I was talking to, they were
What happens
telling
when
me,
you don't have food?
yeah, you're being abused by the companies. I'm not. Why are you saying I'm being
No.
abused? I'm not abused. I work with my company and I love my company. I mean, who doesn't, you got to have a straight line. But you guys are not
Well,
listening to that straight line. You're not listening to the straight line. You guys want to get more for less.
younger generation, yes, because they want the easy money without the hard work, and it's somewhat also the parents' fault because they spoiled them. It's like spare the rod, spoil the kid.
Spoil rod,
And
spoil the
it's
child.
yep, and it's something where when you do that, when we wanted something back, back in our day, it's pretty much you got to go out and earn it. You want it, go get yourself a job.
You want a new
And
car? Work for it.
yeah. And a lot of these parents are giving them kids cars. Oh, you want a new PlayStation? Oh, here's one. I understand
Want
you
a
want to
new
make
iPhone?
kids. Yeah. I can understand these parents want to give a better future to their kid, but it's, it
How
needs
much
to
do you give
be,
before it's detrimental?
yeah. It's like, how about you meet me halfway where I'll pay for half, you pay for half. That's principle some work ethic. These kids, these newer generations, I've heard businesses they don't like hiring new kids because they want everything right now instead of you got to earn it and all that.
I'm going to reiterate on what you said. I remember seeing a commercial. I don't remember if it's Standard Life or whatever. I don't know. There was a commercial on talking about the future, and they were and it was showing a father, the mother playing golf with their son, and the father goes, and it's a commercial, okay? The father goes to the son and go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm playing golf." He goes, "Okay, but you got to work." No, I want to play golf. So I want to be up there right away. I don't got time to waste. I got to be a millionaire. But I go, all millionaires work their ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never seen a millionaire just, okay, maybe a son that gets the money off the father and mother or whatever. But I mean, we're talking about sweat. So I'm not being a woke or whatever we could call me. I'm just being honest and saying, hey, you don't want to work, don't work. But I mean, don't believe that you're going to be rich because you got to work for it. So
It's like a lot of these. I'm gonna add to that, Berm. It's something where a lot of these kids they don't understand. They have to earn their right to be saying that. Day one, you can't just go, I want this, this, and this. If you don't, I'm not working. Right. You do that to a company, they'll say, okay, bye, have a nice day. And you got to put in a couple of years before you can say, hey,
no,
I'm doing all this work,
yeah,
but I'm not getting compensated. But also, is big businesses that will, their motto is, okay, how much can we get out of him, and as cheaply as we can before he starts going down and in his production. Then we have to get rid of them, and we just bring a new person in, and that's another issue. And it's like 20, 30 years ago, when you got hired by a company, you got hired and they want to retire you because they know that, okay, we keep you happy and we grow, you grow with us. And you don't see that nowadays. It's like
Oh
how
yeah, because
bad
it's all about the bottom dollar.
yeah.
If I could bring 3 truck drivers in and pay them less per hour, and yes, they're doing 75% of your load work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus what you can haul. Well, I bring 2 of them in, I'm paying them half as much. It's just common economics. It's not, they don't care. They don't care about, the reputation you build up on the road. They don't care about, how your, accounts are being handled, because they have a minimum standard that people have to do.
Oh yeah.
So as long as people are doing that minimum standard of their minimum company goal, they don't care that you've worked with John at, Tyson for 27 years. They don't care about that, because Tyson don't care either.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're going to hire 4 guys for the cost of 1 guy.
Well, yeah, but you just said something, because I had something in the back of my head, and I know we were talking about a topic, we got a little bit off topic, but I'm just going to tell you, we're looking at the manpower here, okay, and we cannot get.
Globally. I think it's global.
No, it's global. It's global.
Yeah.
It's you guys too. The manpower is not easy.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah,
it's huge. It's because there's a lot of people that took their retirement. There's a lot of people that died. There's a lot of people that, how many people died? There's a lot of people that died. So all those people that died worked and don't work anymore because they're dead.
Yeah.
So, and then you got a generation that all want to be famous. And
do
it is what it is.
YouTube and everything else, and they don't want to actually work. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, so oh, he's back. Okay, so
you don't
I'm
want
just
to see
saying
me doing that. That's why I close it off. I had to blow my nose.
No, that's okay, buddy. I'm that's what I'm saying. I see everything. I'm for everything, but I'm curious to see how it's going to be done, because manpower is not easy. We're missing a lot of people. And then if you bring back all the companies, I'll give you an example here in Canada. Well, I'll say Quebec, okay? Here in Quebec, we don't got young people going on picking the strawberries, and young people going on picking corn.
No, because you know why?
You
know why those people don't exist? No, it's not hard labor. It's just labor. It's not hard.
No. No, but they call it hard labor.
It's not hard labor. It's just labor. Right?
Yeah.
It's because we tell our children that you have to go to college, you have to get a degree, that if you're a picker or a ditch digger or a tradesperson, then you're scum of the earth. You're one of those people because you don't have a degree.
Yep. I've experienced that before.
Okay.
And I've experienced that in the trades, especially in the trades, when I have to deal with engineers and project managers, and you don't have a degree, you don't know anything. I've been doing this 20 years, buddy.
I have, it's like, drivers that come up to me. I've experienced that where, well, you don't know nothing. I said, how long have you been driving? Well, I've been driving for 6 months, and I've been doing this for 20 years, basically. 19, 20 years. I have physical experience. What you don't have none of that physical experience.
You got the paperwork. That's all.
Yeah, but we've told people to stay away from those jobs. Because
you're totally right.
It's not. I'm trying to find the right word. Politically correct may not be the correct word, but it's not,
When have you ever been politically correct, bro?
No, but I'm talking people in society are not being politically correct about it, but it's they're shaming people because they got a job picking strawberries. They're shaming people because they're working as a lumberjack, because they don't have a degree and they're not sitting in an office. They shame those people to make them feel less than.
Okay.
And it gives them a high.
Which, you know what? If you don't have lumberjacks, you don't have wood. You don't have wood, you don't have your building to sit on your pretty little desk that's made out of wood. If you don't have that miner, you don't have the metal that built your car. All those people are important to how you want to live. So you having a college degree or you not having it doesn't matter as long as you're happy doing what you want to do.
Very true.
I'm totally with you guys. But like I told you, it's things that I'm going to be curious to see in the near future. See how they're going to handle it. How are they going to bring it back? They could bring back any company, but I mean, technically, if we're going out to get people to work in those industries that we have here, I mean, we're going to get manpower out of different countries.
Well, yeah, that's why you have immigration.
Yeah.
Well, work visa.
The way immigration's set up is we don't want your dregs. We want the best of your best. And that's any country out there. When you go to apply to immigrate into that country, we don't want some stock boy. We want some guy that's got a college degree, is a doctor, a lawyer, electrical engineer. That's what we want.
They will not put him as a doctor.
Well, no, he'll have to go get his certs again in this country. But if he's got his training, it's not a hard thing to do. You just do it again, right?
Yeah, to get your American, get your American license. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but that's every country out there. Pretty much every country you go to as a doctor, they're going to make you take their test or sit through some of their boards or sit through some of their schooling. But you just. So I don't think it's an age thing. I think part of it is some age stuff in there too.
That's why I made sure. I don't want to go over generational spots.
I think it is. I think there is because people expect a better quality of life. I keep hearing quality of life a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know if you hear that too.
Yeah.
Where people want that quality of life, like I should be able to live off 40 hours a week. I call bull. Because when I was younger, I was working 3 and 4 jobs, 80 to 100 and something hours a week, between those jobs, plus doing side gigs. When I got into construction, my boss would let me do side work as long as it didn't interfere and I wasn't messing with his clients. And that's what put food on the table. That's what put clothes on the wall. That's what put clothes in the closet and the car in the driveway and paid those bills off and made it so I had more money than other people. But there was that drive and motivation where I had to dedicate more of my life to working than most people.
Okay. That's
because
great.
I wanted those.
You don't have that.
Well, no, because I wanted those nicer things, and now people expect to be flying in a private jet to Vegas. And why don't I have the money to do that when I work 15 hours a week, or I work 40 hours a week? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They're working 40 hours a week, with a college degree, and they think they should be making $300,000-$400,000 a year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry,
for sure.
In just because you have an education does not guarantee that you're going to make money. It's hard work and motivation that usually breaks that point and gets people to make money.
Yeah, exactly the same thing that we're doing here. It's It's been a while. We've been doing our podcast, and we're working. We're
You just
determined
keep going.
that we're going to
Keep
go
making
even
it
further,
better.
making it better.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to get out of that topic because we got about 15 minutes to go. And I know we've wrote a lot of topics tonight.
I got a cool
And
one.
that's good. That's good because it makes it different now. We got topics also.
I got a technology one.
Go. I'll let you hit that technology one. Go ahead.
Bam.
What the hell's that?
This is an LTO cell, lithium titanium oxide. Okay. This is the new mothership of lithium batteries, baby. You could put a nail through this thing and it will not explode. It's discharge, so I can discharge at 20 times its amp rating, and I can charge at 10 times its amp rating. So what I'm doing is I'm building a truck battery for my car out of these. So I'll have 12 of these cells.
Truck, not a truck.
Pickup truck. I don't care what you call it. It's a truck. I'm beyond pickup truck status. And it is going to have basically a 480 amp hour battery. And when you guys go to the store and you buy a battery for your truck or pickup, you know, you're looking for something around 700 cranking amps, right?
About
I will have 3,480 cold cranking amps under the hood. Okay. And the average cycle life of a lead acid or, you know, some of the higher premium batteries is about 1,000 cycles. And that battery's dead. It's kaput. The average cycle life for an LTO cell is 25 to 30,000 cycles. I'm going to be able to will this battery because I'll probably be dead and it'll still be going.
Marvelous. Is it EMP protected?
No, nothing's EMP when it's electrical. You'd have to tie it into an EMP stuff. It will be EMP protected in my truck because I do have an EMP thing in there. There's EMP shield.
Wait, technically your car's never going to break down if there's an EMP dust?
No, I have EMP shield in my truck. Yeah. So an EMP pulse should not affect it.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So
marvelous. Yeah, so marvelous. So now you've been doing for about 15 minutes publicity, but that's okay.
No, it's not publicity, but I mean, you could buy these cells. But unfortunately, there's only really one country that's manufacturing these. And do we want to guess who that is?
I just saw the name. China.
It's China. Because the cost to manufacture them in China. So the cost to build this battery when I get done will be between $400 and $700. But I'll have a battery that'll last me at least 24 times longer than my current battery.
Oh, $700 for what, 20 years?
Yeah, if not longer. Yeah, because I get 3 to 4 years per battery, roughly, and times that by 20. Hopefully, it lasts that long. So I got some stuff to 3D print. I got a new 3D printer coming, so I'll keep you guys posted on the updates. I got a battery cell management system to put on, which will be cool. And I got to get some copper plate, so the actual bus bars in my battery will be able to handle 300 amp draw.
Wow.
Which most batteries don't like to go over 100. They start melting terminals and plates inside the battery, and I use a lot of winches, electric winches on my truck. So that's what really kills a lot of my batteries is all the winching.
Okay.
So this is the reason why I'm building this battery is because I'm tired of changing out batteries every 3 to 4 years because of winching. So.
Okay, cool.
And so I should be able to charge, forget what it was, So I got to do some quick math here because it's pretty crazy. Well, I'll just give you some rough numbers. So I can charge at 10C, which is 10 times the rate of the amperage. So I can charge at a little over 4,000 amps into this battery and not damage the cells. I can discharge at over 9,000 amps.
Okay.
Now, the bus bars and the battery won't handle that because they're only going to be rated for 300. They'll probably melt at that kind of amperage. But the cell itself can handle it. How crazy is that?
Oh, it's crazy.
I think you're going to see a lot more. Unfortunately, it's the size of the cell because these are 2.3 volts a cell. And a lot of these are getting used in stereo equipment. So if you see like these really big thumpers, I guarantee they probably got a 5 or 6 cell of one of these things attached into somewhere around their amp or something like that for when they want to hit that really low bass. This is what provides that power to their stereo.
Okay. Okay. So that was your big topic that I just looked at the bottom, LOT batteries.
Yeah. These are impressive. They're impressive. And this is
I know,
a 60. This size is 66-160. So if you want a size reference when you're watching the video, it's like 66 millimeters across. So it's a pretty fat cell. They make other sizes, but this is the more common. And 12 cells ran me like $360.
Wow. Okay. So you're gonna get your money's worth.
I hope so.
Okay.
That or it's gonna blow up my face when I build it.
Hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, me too.
I hope it doesn't. We love you, Akai. We want to keep you.
Well, yeah, and I got, like I said, I'll keep you posted. Like when I get my new printer in, I'll show off the new printer, print some stuff with it, and then hopefully I could print.
You're gonna have to show me that live. I still can't realize that a 3D printer could do a lot. I think
you could do a live feed one night if you wanted to. I'll figure out how to do it, and then maybe what I'll do is I will 3D print something. And we could stream it live so people could see.
Well, we could stream it while we're doing our show. We could have one. You just need to have one.
I could do another camera feed in.
You could add. It's written on your thing. You could add another camera.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And my 3D printer is going to be networkable, so it'll actually plug right into the network with an Ethernet cable. So.
There we go.
And it's got AI built on board. Sweet.
So. We're just going to touch a little subject. There's about like 7 minutes to go before our end of our show. There's been some stupidities on Diddy. Diddy. We're hearing Diddy all over. Diddy done this. Diddy done that. Here's videos of Diddy. Here's videos of this. Here's videos of one actress. Here's another video of another actress. Singers. And man, there's a big melting pot with Diddy. What do you guys think? Because I even overheard, and I knew you found the pictures, by the way. You found the pictures. I overheard about even Trump.
Take my statement as much as you will. He is either going to die in prison and never get charged. They will settle all his lawsuits for an undisclosed amount of cash. And he will get away with everything.
You're talking about Diddy?
Yeah, or nothing will happen to him. They'll be like, look, it was consenting adults. There's nothing we can do.
Every state has a different age limit.
Yeah, but there's ages, then there's drugs, and there's a...
Yeah, and unless you have evidence, but you know what? We had ages and drugs and evidence against Epstein. And what happened to Epstein? He mysteriously died in a cell in a federal jail that's got 24/7 camera monitoring that's had has been up for the last 20 years. And all of a sudden, for a miracle, his cell camera goes out for 30 minutes and he's hung himself. I think somebody hung him because he was going to talk. And he was going to say, I work for the CIA. I've been doing this for years, collecting information on all these people out here. They got all these weird fetishes and piping it to the CIA and giving them videos so they can blackmail people, and I can blackmail people to keep money going to fund this operation that the government says is illegal, but we're not going to care that you're doing. Everybody knew he was doing it. Everybody knew Diddy was doing it. Everybody knows that.
And he was even telling the people, we have our parties.
He's telling, we're having a party. Come on by. You love. We'll see you there.
Well, he would invite you to the white party or whatever they called it. There was a couple of parties. He was inviting them to parties, and then afterwards, go, hey, you guys want to stay at the after party? And that's where all the craziness started.
The party was going on inside the house, and some people weren't allowed to go into the house, but certain people were allowed to go into the house.
Yeah.
They knew what was going on. The people that were showing up there knew what was going on. And they knew, hey, look, if you go in the house and you go upstairs, don't be shocked. You're going to get invited to play. Right? But you're not going to show up at, and like these guys saying, like, the Diddy party was the in party. And if you were at the in party, then you got invited to go work on a set or invited to go over here.
Yep.
They took those people that came to the party, that gave up the booty, and they rewarded them with money and contracts.
Like Epstein. Not Epstein, but Weinstein.
Weinstein did, the same thing. Look at Jeffrey Weinstein. Look at all the people knew he was sleeping with all the actresses. Come on. It's not a shock.
And if you want to get ahead in that industry, you had to do that.
And these women would go there and they would go in with that guy and they would do the deed, and then they would get a contract or get into a movie. And if they wanted to go higher up on the food chain, they would sleep with the next one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's how the industry works.
Well, that's not how it's supposed to work, but I understand what you're saying.
I get that. It's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be on what? Merit and, ability and, can you actually do the job? Can you actually sell the product?
Yeah. Well, it's something where
it's no different than when you go sell a set of skills to an employer and you say, I could do all these wonderful things, and you're doing it.
Well, it's something where if we knew what our government and other governments have done, it would probably blow you away, and that explains a lot.
I don't think he's going to live long enough to get charged or go to court because he's got dirt on too many people.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's the same thing with Epstein. He had dirt on too many people, but he had too many high-powered people that knew people. And I said, yep, you got to whack him.
It's almost like Marilyn Monroe.
She knew too much.
Uh-huh.
She was going to talk, and she was going to speak too. She was going to talk. They suicided her.
Well, it's the same thing with JFK.
He was going to talk too.
Yeah. And wasn't he? There was another theory going on that saying that was about he was going to get off and take away the Federal Reserve, if I remember right.
He was going to do something with the Federal Reserve, and he was going to talk about UFOs or something like that, and declassify a bunch of information. And the Federal Reserve, man, I'll tell you what, those 5 families are doing well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, a lot of people think,
you ever looked into the Federal Reserve room?
No, I haven't.
Because it really, but you look at it, there's 5 families that own the Federal Reserve.
Seriously?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a federal.
It's not a federal bank. It's a private bank.
Yeah.
It's a private
lot of people
bank
don't know that.
works for the federal government. They can't be audited by the federal government. And when you start looking, this goes back to that whole thing that we were talking about earlier about Mr. Musk and Vishwek Vamashwamy. And I'm sorry, I'm killing your name, brother, but I can't pronounce it. I'm going to need some education lessons on that one. But they're going in and they're starting up that department of, hey, where in the government are we spending all this money? There's 458. Because I looked at him and I made it all the way to F. I couldn't go any farther because it was getting stupid. 458 federal agencies in this country.
Wow.
Okay. And 3 of them, before I got to F, were college funds. Why does there need to be 3 separate college funds that are run by the federal government?
Good question. Yeah.
And then there's a lot of these agencies that are overlapping each other. Well, why don't they just become one big agency? We could fire 2 of the directors and all their staff. We'll save millions of dollars there. Why does the Department of Education need a SWAT team?
How about the Postal Service?
Do they have a SWAT team?
There's too much shooting in schools.
No, they actually have their own.
But they don't do anything in schools, Verm. It's the federal agency that's stationed in Washington.
Oh, okay.
Why do they need a SWAT team? They got Capitol Police. That's their job.
Oh, how about the IRS?
Which is another federal agency. If you people didn't know that, Capitol Police are federal agents. They're not a local cop. They're a federal agent, and that's why. And there's 3 offices in the state of California for Capitol Police. How many millions of dollars a year do we waste on that?
Oh, it's crazy.
And so while some people may not like Elon, and may not like the other guy, and may not like Trump, sometimes I want to see how well it goes.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to see if something actually happens, if they actually fix stuff. If they actually fix stuff, standing ovation, I'm happy, I'm proud, right? But if we're just going to talk smack and wave our pens around for a year, and it's going to cost us millions of dollars for you to do that, then that's pointless.
Yeah,
we didn't get
it. Understood.
But he did change out Matt Gaetz, I guess, with somebody else. Too much controversy.
Yeah.
But did you see on The View where, I can't remember that lady's name, she not Whoopi, but the other one. Whoopi's been pretty down to earth lately, which is kind of shocking me.
She got busted for that bakery bit.
Yeah, where she said the bakery wouldn't cook for her because their boiler was down, and they said, we're not taking any orders right now because our boiler's broken, so we don't know how long it's going to be till we get it fixed, so we're not going to commit. And then Sunny Liston, that's her name, actually said a bunch of stuff about Matt Gaetz, and the legal department came out and gave her a letter for her to read, which she did not like. Basically saying, look, Matt Gaetz has been charged. They did a 3-year investigation. They didn't have any evidence saying that he could do this, that he did it. And therefore all the charges were then dropped because he went through a 3-year investigation and they couldn't find anything on him.
Oh, God.
But yet they made such a big stink over the guy that he actually removed himself and they put another person in there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So I'll be
guys.
curious to see how things go.
Yeah, me too. And surely over 2025, we're going to have a lot of time to talk about it and different different topics.
And
so,
you know how much I like to yell at people for not doing their job. So
yeah. So, ladies and gents, just to let you know, we are already in November, end of November, crossing to December. For Christmas, we will be stopping our production over Christmas and kicking off back after the New Year's.
There will not be a show on New Year's.
Pardon me?
The show times fall in at Christmas and New Year's. So those 2 weeks we will not be having a show.
No, because we want to be with our families, and it's Christmas, so we got to take a break.
But
we will be back.
Miss us, don't forget to like and subscribe, and go to vermontradio.com.
No, I was going to say, you want to see it,
and buy some swag. Support us through the holidays. All the money goes directly back to the channel. Nothing is being spent on us.
Nah.
I have the same 3 Vermland radio shirts, and I paid for them. So.
And I paid for this.
Yeah, which was helping our sponsor. And who is our sponsor?
Yeah. So so thank you very much, everybody. See you all. Are we there next week? Yeah, we are.
So who's our sponsor there? You got to put the code up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's true. Because I'm not a Give me 1 second. I got to go to my laptop because I changed my things around.
So while he's doing that, he's going to be putting it in the computer. He's going to be putting it on the screen for us. So that way you can go out to Ruthless Wrestlers and actually buy that sweatshirt or that hat. They got different colors, don't worry. And he says the quality on those things are just bang up. So I've got to now order me one, and I will have to use the same code, which is Verm something, which will pop up here. VermsFans-RR10 at ruthlesswrestlers.com. And go out there, support them. They're a nice company, and they've been working with Verms Productions up there in Canada. Absolutely wonderful people, and go support them by buying their product.
And don't forget, it's rodeo clothing. So technically, all this is all about stories of rodeo. So the family's on that rodeo. So it's blaze your own trail.
Yeah.
So
and it looks good.
No, it does look good. I mean, I'm happy to, and it's hot. That's why I can't wait to finish the show.
Well, you're old.
It's hot.
But you're old. You're supposed to stay warm.
Okay, guys. See you all next week.